It's as if the world is backwards according to how your mind is seeing it, like the description of three-dimensional vision, in the sense that your eyes only see what light is being reflected back at you, therefore you're seeing an inversion of the energies, the space, and the color that you could say is actually there, if we could say anything is actually there at all beyond perception. I should have erased this. Going lefty. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Loosen yourself from time. That's not gonna work. Sorry, I always cough into the mic as if it's something I'm supposed to do. And so then just looking over. Okay, so I'll start with that. So the way we think we are, self, is inverted. When you see yourself, maybe physically, if you will, you're seeing the opposite. Or you could say, in this state, the self is physical, and the true self is actually an inverted by comparison to here. But to say that is rather confusing, for what we think is physical is like real and true, and it's kind of bending your imagination versus denying the physical. It's putting the physical somewhere on a slot where it's basically a quantum superimposition with many probabilities or possibilities in one. It's that collapsing it down to one thing where it can't expand then becomes the inversion of what it really is, which is only that which expands. And in other words, it's basically that which is, well, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one, that one, not that one, not that one, or 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 that one. And so it's neither of them, or all of them. And so then this process of one to many and many to one, that's not linear. And so, or it's not like that. And so it doesn't grow itself like blocks, and or maybe like those blocks in segments. It grows itself in a different way, a different format, different pattern. The process of regeneration, therefore, it's kind of similar. It would be closer to cloning in the sense of multiplication than addition or division, in the sense of what we think of as maybe even physical cloning, as far as dividing the genome, because this is different. It's where it's pure true creation. And so to expand on that a little bit more, at least the backwards forward aspect of it, working with this new mic setup. And so that makes more sense. I don't know why I don't think sometimes. Don't ever think. There's no such thing. Because if thinking is the process of the physical self here, then it can only redirect your awareness away from the true self. So then, looking physically, thinking, okay, is away from the true self into the physical self, and is technically forwards in time as you go more into time and physicality, which is into greater entropy. And so then it's really moving backwards spiritually, because it's giving further into the illusion or the dream. And this isn't just like, you don't have to like fly away, but it's just how you live your life. That's the whole point, is how you live your life. It's not like, all right, now we're all just gotta like, I don't do something crazy or something. Well, that is, but you do that crazy thing that would break reality, that could be like out of the body. You do it by conquering your fear. You do it by observing yourself and realizing that which you're lacking in, making yourself bigger and stronger. And so it's through the mind, and that's where it gets confusing. And so knowing is no idea what that was supposed to say. Oh, counterspin. Knowing is going backwards in time, which is forward spiritually. Yeah, we're in a weird temporal reverse experiment. And in that sense, down is up. The bigger up here you are, in the sense that your ego, and your head is big, okay, the harder you fall. Oops. And in that sense, the bigger the ego, the darker the fall, or the deeper the fall, down into, whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, you can end up in a lower dimension, but it's down in consciousness in that reality tubule spectrum of the Most High, and this is the evolutionary body of humanity, and so you're basically just ending up back in time. Sorry for the symbology there, but anyway. And so then the ego, the top of this world, ego's the top of the physical. Literally, it's your head, and your chest, if you will. And so that is the illusion, and the bigger that is, the harder it falls. So this could be said as being too bright or too loud, like they say today. And in that sense, you can tone it down, or in that sense, tone it up. And ego, then, to have all your eggs in that basket, you'd have to be ignoring the other side, which is the true above, which you can't actually see. It's invisible. And in that sense, it could even be below in that sense, but it's more so in the sense of heart, below the mind, and we put the mind on top, we put the intellect on top, and it's really feeling. It's the center that's really calculating, that's feeling everything. The mind is kind of like there, and it's aware of this. Each mind is just that. The heart is where they all are resonated in and out, okay? And so yeah, then the idea is that the ego, is actually, in reality, the bottom of the false world, and then the Most High Spirit, truth, knowledge, free will, compassion, self-awareness, liberation. That's all the Most High. And so then, to get this into that, you have to be able to flip yourself. So you gotta flip out of the bullshit illusion. Excuse the boom. Alright, new talk coming up. Have fun. Remember to sing and dance all the stupid shit away. You can go warrior mode with your singing and dancing if you need to defend the human race and bring about beneficial change for all, and to ultimately reverse the entropy. So spin your ego in the opposite direction that it went into, and you will age regress your sins back in time, and this sets you up for a slingshot to the future past of a higher dimensional universe upon transition, because all we are is little soul reality ping pong ball tubule things flying from doorway to doorway into higher and higher dimensions, but you've given free will in the system so that you can make your way on your own, and it makes it really interesting for everyone involved. However, we all have to not push our problems on anyone else and force anyone else to have to reckon with our darkness, because we're not ready to. That's what went on in a lot of other situations. They developed darkness, but then they did not give people the outlet to manage that darkness. They didn't give people the outlet to then convert that darkness, that fuel, into something more